Alright guys, today I'm doing a video about expectations and motive. These are two very important things that we have to kind of learn how to manage. And this was somewhat inspired by a quote thing that was on the wall in one of the schools that I work in, where, I'm a great believer in things going in subconscious. You sort of take things in as you're looking around. It's no coincidence that advertising is such a huge thing, and you see something on the side of a bus, and then later on when you're in a shop, you're more likely to notice it because you saw it earlier. This thing said, I've written it down, it said, "I am confident and courageous. I possess the strength and ability to accomplish all my goals and dreams." Now, when I look at this thing, I find it slightly off key, if I'm honest, because what about if those goals and dreams that that person is supposed to be able to achieve with enough strength and ability aren't actually realistic goals and dreams for them? They've put some sort of, because we sometimes do this. I mean, if, let's say, for example, somebody's got expectations of you that are greater than what you believe you can actually achieve. Now, sometimes if that's nurtured in the right way and you feel that you can, be yourself, make mistakes, learn from them, overcome them, then maybe, there's nothing wrong with setting goals and trying to achieve them. As a human being, we're kind of driven like that, and we like to achieve, and we like to feel satisfied that we've got something done. So that's obviously often a goal that we've achieved. So that's great. The problem though comes, and this is what I've seen in therapy a lot, is the problem comes when the goals that we are setting for ourselves are not intermediate. They're the end goal that we're trying to reach in one hit. So we're not trying to look at small steps to achieve the final goal. We're looking at a huge bloody journey that doesn't start with a single step, rather starts with a huge leap that gets us all the way there. And then when we fail, because that's very difficult for anybody to do, we then beat ourselves up about it and then don't want to try for a little while until we've repaired, and then we try and make that leap again. And it may not always work. Some people are better at it than others, but nonetheless, I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about the people that generally struggle to overcome problems in one single bound. All right, we ain't Superman. So, also, with our expectations of ourselves, normally if our expectations of ourselves are too high, so I should be there, if you refer back to the other video I did about the way we talk to ourselves, I should be up there, but I'm not. I'm actually here, but I don't want to be here. I should be there. We're not accepting where we are now, which causes pressure. It causes us to then want to get out of this situation more. We become desperate. We stress about it, which, as I've said in other videos, we produces cortisol. It's not a good thing. We become confused. We see the way out even less, and makes our depression worse. So what I wanted to do was kind of give an example about the motive behind the expectations that you're trying to achieve. Are they done for the promotion and love of yourself and self-worth and self-confidence? Not from the promotion of you as an entity, but for the promotion of your goodwill to yourself, to feel good, to become happy, to become balanced in life, to look at life in a way that you feel satisfied with? Or is the motivation for these things that you're trying to achieve for someone else, or to achieve admiration from somebody else, adulation from other people? These are very important because they don't produce the same feeling. If you was to be somebody that's giving something, so your motive is to give something to somebody, but you want something back, that's going to have a very different feel when you get something back. It's not going to feel the same because you kind of expect it. You did it for that reason. And so therefore, sometimes what I hear is people will say, well, I'm trying to do this and I'm trying to do that. My husband has asked me to do this. My wife thinks I should change this. My teachers want me to do this and I'm not sure that I can do it. And people haven't sat down with them and said, all right, look, that what you're doing there is not working for you, is it? Let's face it, it's not working. So we need to look at smaller steps that you can get to, break it down. So, for example, when you're approaching depression, it's an umbrella term. And what we're looking at is, okay, so what things do you think in your life contribute to depression? I mean, are you happy in your job? Are you happy in your relationships? You got a good friendship group? What's your family life like? If your past is important in that, and you've had some sort of situations in the past that you found difficult to deal with, what are the different things that contribute to your depression? It's the same with this, with the expectations. What little things can contribute to you achieving that end goal, which is the peak of the mountain? We need you trotting up it. Not trying to get all the way up to the top with stilts on or something, or spring boots to get all the way up there. because then it leaves you with a feeling of dissatisfaction and depression because you couldn't make it. That is why I started with this: I am confident and courageous, I possess the strength and ability to accomplish all my goals and dreams. Because that's a subconscious message just sitting on a wall. What worries me is how many people, this is in a school for year 7 to 11s and obviously sixth form as well, who are going in that room for counselling and they're singing that on the wall. I'm not sure who it was who put it up there, but to me, it means well and it sounds good. But when you actually break it down, it could be quite damaging. I mean, people might think, well, do normal people do that then? Because I'm not, and I don't know how to, and I'm not sure what's going on. So maybe I haven't got strength, maybe I haven't got ability, maybe I'm not courageous, maybe I'm not confident. What is wrong with me? So I think that what we really need to do is to focus on the bit where it says, I possess the strength. What are they? Not strength, you know, just some like magical words. What are your strengths? What are the things that you can use that would help you to overcome those small goals that get you where you want to get to? And are you doing it for a pure motive? Are you doing it for the motive of good? Good for you, or if it's for somebody else? Like, let's say, for example, you give someone a lift somewhere. You offer to give them a lift, and then a couple of weeks later, you need a lift somewhere and they don't want to give you one. Now, are you going to think, well, I gave you a lift a couple of weeks ago, so why aren't you giving me one? You know, and end up getting a bit sort of a grudge, if you like. And you don't know what that person's situation is. They may not have time, they may have already arranged to do something else, their car might be playing up, they might not feel comfortable to tell you. You know, there's any number of reasons, but if you did a favour to receive a favour, it's going to feel very different from if you did a favour and not looking for anything back. It's quite a difficult thing because a lot of us expect that if we've done something for someone, they should really kind of return the favour and they should act in kind. So it's very, as I say, it's very subtle, and this video is not going to have a bloody an ultimate pinnacle where you're going to go away thinking, oh yeah. It's to get you to look, just get you thinking about this sort of thing. So when you're looking at these, you know, these goals that you're setting that may be too high for you, you need to understand, I think, that when we do that, sometimes we think that other people have got expectations that are much higher of us as well. And maybe they haven't, but we assume they have because we have. You know, if we assume that we need to be much more than we already are, and we're not accepting where we are now, even though it's not a place that we really want to be in, we know that just by deciding that, oh, I want to be up there, doesn't take you there, does it? It doesn't get you there. What gets you there is hard work, repetition, grind, doing the same thing over and over, practice, and repeatedly trying to change those habits that have got you to feel like that in the first place, or thought patterns that have got you to feel like that in the first place. So these are all, what I'm trying to say is we get our problem, and rather than looking at it as though I possess the strength and ability to accomplish all my dreams and goals, maybe what we need to be looking at is what are my strengths, where do my strengths lie that will help me to take small steps to achieve the end goal that I want to work towards. Nothing wrong with setting a goal that is fine. I mean, I remember seeing that thing about Jim Carrey where he wrote himself a cheque for $5 million and gave himself 3 years to earn it. But as he said in the interview I watched, he didn't just sit there then and wait for the $5 million to come. He worked for it. He got out and he did what he needed to do to get that money. He just had a goal in mind when he did it. And it's very important that we do that. And I think that the reason, again, that I'm going back to that statement, there's another one on the wall as well, which says that I am in charge of how I feel, and today I choose happiness. And I just think, look, you know, that is bullshit. You cannot choose happiness. You choose what you do in order to be happy. If we could just choose, today I'm going to get up and choose happiness. I mean, who ain't going to do that? Really, like, who's not going to do that? It's not that simple. And I think that sometimes the self-help industry, as I say in other videos of mine, which is ironic considering I am trying to help people, but I think a lot of this stuff is it's garbage, if you want to call it. It's rubbish. And what is not rubbish is for us to look at what we're realistically capable of and what expectations are we putting on ourselves. Are they for the right reasons? If we are doing it for the right reasons, that means that any time we fall short, we will learn from it, because we'll realise that, okay, that's one of the things where I fall short of perfection, but that's okay, because now I'm learning that perfection isn't achievable. It's a work in progress. Every human being is in the same race. We're all looking at a work in progress. We're trying to reach the best potential that we can, and on the way there, what are we going to do to help our lives and help ourselves and help the other people around us to achieve as much of that as we possibly can? And am I doing the steps that are necessary for that, or am I aiming way too far in front, falling over every single time, then having to pick myself up a month or so later, and then regretting not even started it. All right, have a think about this, guys. I'll be back with a follow-up to this in a few days. Cheers.